Okay, so the word today is coming from one of the inspirations in my life. Her name is Dr. Romani. Have you guys heard of her? She is a clinical psychologist, and what she does is she talks about specifically narcissistic personality disorder. First, let's hear what she says.
Shut up, manager. Your name is a sales associate. You're gonna choke. You, if you don't get out my face. Who is she gonna choke? You better get up out my face. Because you are failing to realize your job position.
No, I feel like that you're failing to realize your position.
I realize that you ain't nobody no different from me. You getting paid that little wage hour. You ain't.
That wasn't the video I was referring to. That was actually a sound effect that's going to be added to the board. My apologies. Dr. Romani, again, she's a clinical psychologist. She's amazing. Her work is great. When I was going through the breakup that basically broke me at the time period, but now I'm healed and I see the lesson in every single thing that we went through. So I can actually appreciate it for what it was. But I got attuned to her during that time period and I actually tried to book an appointment with her. Her appointments are $3,500. We inquired, but her appointment book was booked for a year, so it was hard to get in contact with her. But you know, when you know people to know people, I was able to get on the book, but her wait list is a process, right? But one day, hopefully, I will be able to sit with Dr. Romani. But this is what she says about forgiveness and dealing with people who have narcissistic personality disorder.
That we forgive someone who's hurt us so badly as a narcissist.
Maybe we don't. Maybe we don't. I have to tell you that something that's very important to me is that no one ever feels that they have to forgive someone for hijacking their soul, because maybe there is no forgiveness for that. The pressure to forgive has led some people to feel guilty their whole lives, prematurely forgive. There's a really interesting body of literature out there that suggests that if we forgive someone who re-perpetrates, it significantly harms the well-being of the forgiver. So all of our research, forgive, you'll feel better, forgive, you'll free yourself. Not so much, because not everyone leaves these relationships. Some people continue to have contact with the family members. They continue to stay in the relationship. They may not have a choice. Not everyone can leave. This isn't as simple as, you're narcissistic, I'm leaving this relationship. It's not how it works most of the time.
Brilliant. Okay, let me put this in terms that I can comprehend, and then we're going to get to a word from there. The pressure to forgive makes the forgiver feel guilty if the pattern repeats itself. This starts the cycle of allowing yourself to be what I call a fucking doormat. You know, I have struggled my entire life at not holding grudges on motherfuckers, okay? If you've done something to me, I can tell you what the girl sitting next to me in second grade did to my ass. I can. And I feel like a part of that was me protecting myself from energy that was chaotic or that I could not control, or guarding myself from being hurt by people in society. But let's go back and talk about the pressure we feel to forgive, because it is the righteous thing to do, right? Now, she's specifically talking about people who have narcissistically hurt you in a relationship. First and foremost, raise your hand if you've been hurt by a narcissist. Raise your hand. What is a narcissist? Somebody, basically a person who lacks empathy. That's my self-definition of a narcissist. Raise your hand if you dealt with somebody like that. They have no empathy at all. Baby, it will have you thinking that you're my doppelganger.
But smoking crack on live.
It will have you smoking crack on live. It will. I mean, it warps your mind to a point where you're like, am I going crazy? Is he crazy? You get, I've been there. And I feel like now I've been there so that I can help everybody through there in a spiritual way. You know what I'm saying? So again, grateful for the experiences there. But what she's saying is, if we remove the pressure to forgive, and we're okay holding, you're not holding anything in, you're just acknowledging the fact that I don't forgive you. I'll never forgive you, and I'm okay with that. See, that challenges the status quo. That challenges the mentality and morality that most of us grew up with. We are taught to forgive and forget. Now, look, then that turned into, I will forgive, but I will not forget. Now that's turned into, I'm not going to forget, and I'm not going to forgive. And the question then would be, is that okay? And how can we get there mentally when it comes to dealing with other people? One of my biggest things that I live my life by is the notion that you can only live your life through your set of eyes. Aww. It's true. I'll never be able to see myself how y'all are looking at y'all phone, looking at me right now. Okay? You'll never be able to experience the body of somebody that you're very close to. You know, one of my clients, she crazy as hell, but she said, I just want to absorb him. And I'm like, bitch, you love him that much, you want to become the nigga? But it can never happen. And because of that, the rules that you set in your body, in your world, behind your set of eyes, dictate your reality and the people they're in. I have been, especially dealing with the people on the climb. We talked about the climb, and now we talked about reflection yesterday. I have been holding this guilt, as she refers to it as. I've been holding this because I don't know if I'm capable of forgetting that you hurt me in the way that you hurt me. I don't know if I can do that. And is that okay? You know, does that mean that I have back spiritual energy? Now, mind you, if I'm casting a hex or a curse, I think about the person who pissed me off last. Okay, because you know, magic is based on emotion. So in order to summon that emotion, I think about all the betrayal, and that becomes that much more popping in my cauldron when I'm casting for you or when I'm casting for myself or whatever, you know? So as a witch, I think that those instances are necessary. But when it becomes a cavity in your spirit, and I'm not going to say that me not forgiving was the cavity. It was the guilt and not wanting to forgive and not knowing how to say, I love you enough to invite you back into my space. Like I keep saying, I still love these people. Okay? Will I ever contact them again? No. And am I okay with that? I believe I am. But if I begin becoming uncomfortable with that, then my perception is changing and then I have to learn some new things. But what this video did was it gave me permission to feel what I've been feeling. And put it into words. You know, I felt this way already, but like I said, social media has been screaming at me. Not only pop culture has, but like these messages are coming through the ethers, through social media that are very much so reigning supreme and very relevant and prevalent to the phases of my life that I needed clarity on before I performed for God on Saturday. So I guess this is not a word as much as it is a conversation. What would happen if we didn't feel guilty or made to feel guilty for people coming against you? What would happen? Would you be in love with the same person? Would you have the same group of friends? You know? Would you allow your boss to continue to talk to you how he talks to you? You know, is this a matter of worth? Is this a matter of, I'm not going to forgive you because my crown is shining brighter than yours is? You know, it's a school of thought involved in this entire conversation that I've never pondered before. And it's just interesting to like kind of dissect it with you, you know? And I'm going to take it a step further. What you naturally feel, like what your body naturally tells you how to respond like, in essence, is perfect. Okay? When we come into this world, when we don't get our way, we cry, we scream. We're reprimanded from crying and screaming. So therefore, when we have the urge to cry and scream, we have a barrier there that was created by your mother and father, whose barrier was created by their mother and father, whose barrier was created by their mother and father, and that's the way we're supposed to behave. But if you naturally get angry when someone slaps you in the fucking face, That's perfect. Right? Because that's your body's natural way of responding to stimuli in your environment. But we train it. We train it though. Like if my natural urge is to be butt boomy ass naked. But society will tell you that, but you can't be walking around here naked now, child. We came in this world naked. This is more of an abstract overview of what the fuck the bitch said. Okay, excuse me, Dr. Romney has said. Okay, I took it too far, right? Because now I'm like, we shouldn't feel guilty about anything. If I have a desire to blow up Monique's trailer, I shouldn't be wrong with that. It's a little abstract. But at the essence of this, I need you guys to, and I'm doing this myself, really look at what you feel guilty about. Is it natural for you to feel guilty about it, or have you been programmed to feel guilty about something? I'm a very unforgiving person. I mean, I'm forgiving to the point where when you cross that line, you never come back across it. Okay? But I'm also very nice and nurturing. And I think sometimes I give people the wrong impression that you can do whatever the hell you want to do. And I go off and now all of a sudden I'm crazy. But for me, it's like common sense. It should be common sense, but it's not common sense. Common sense is you don't talk about no business that somebody built. Common sense is you don't be flirting with nobody man and buying them nothing for Christmas. Common sense. It's some common sense shit that ain't so common no more. And that's bothering me and my hunger.
It's upsetting me and my hunger because we feel like, well, damn, if you can't go to where the hell could you go?
But that's because I was dealing with plebeians and people who aren't squad or people who aren't on the level that we've gotten, you know? Anyways, Dr. Romney, I really thank you for this message. I know I'm a bit of an avant-garde creature for you probably to grace your presence or whatever, but I love you. I love your work, and thank you so much for this word that's going to have me thinking all motherfucking rest of the week.